whenever you're ready.
Okay. Again, hello everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm going to give you some information on an officer-involved shooting situation that we had this evening. Try to give you any details that we have at this point. Again, this is a very, very initial stages of this investigation, so there's going to be a lot that's going to unfold as we get more into it. Again, my name is Todd Chamberlain. I am the Chief of Police for the City of Aurora. And at around 3 o'clock this afternoon, our officers, or Aurora 911, got a dispatch of a trespassing suspect on the parking lot behind me here at 19901 East 56th Avenue. This is a location where people who are going to Denver International Airport park their vehicles and then they are transported to the airport. The PR for this event is actually one of the employees or managers of the parking lot here. And again, he called law enforcement and stated that there was an individual who was trespassing in the lot, very disheveled, seemed to be either under the influence, have mental health issues, and also be somewhat combative. The call went out to our officers. An officer started to respond to the location. As our officers were responding to the area, the PR called back again, and he said that he has concerns for the safety of the individuals in the lot, and he also has safety for his employees. Our officers continued to respond. Additional information also came out from our PR, the person reporting, and he said that the suspect was also attempting to get into vehicles. So for whatever reason, this situation was escalating as our officers were responding into the location. Our officers got on scene, or one officer who was working a single car, got on scene, arrived at the location, made contact with the PR, got some information about what was unfolding, and then he was advised that the suspect was loitering in the back area towards this grassy field. The officer went to that location and within 30 seconds put out an assistance call based on his contact with the individual. Again, very, very short, concise information that we got right now. This is not a thorough or complete investigation in any way, but what we do know very briefly is that our officer did make contact with the suspect. There was verbal communication to have the suspect listen to the directions of the officer. There was also de-escalation techniques that included verbalization, and also at some point during this event less lethal munitions were used of some sort, and we're going to verify that as we go. I'm thinking it's most likely going to be a taser. Again, the suspect did not stop his behavior. He continued to walk towards the officers. At one point, the officer actually got pulled down onto the ground that we know at this time. Some equipment from the officer's belt was removed and is scattered amongst the field back there. The officer was able to get back up, get the suspect off of him, continued to verbalize with him, and at some point during that contact and that verbalization, an officer-involved shooting occurred. The suspect went down. Request for RA was requested, as well as a help call for additional units based on the shots fired call. We actually had resources from Denver Police Department who were in the area. They came, assisted. Additional Aurora police officers came and assisted and started to provide life-saving measures to the suspect, as well as to the officer. Again, he not life-saving, but definitely gave him aid. Both of the individuals were transported to the hospital. Our officer was transported, as well as the suspect was transported. The suspect, once at the hospital, was pronounced deceased, so he has expired, and our officer is receiving medical care as we speak. We have on scene right now is our CERT team, which is going to come from the 17th Judicial District. They will conduct all aspects of this investigation, of this officer-involved shooting. Again, like I said, we are in a very, very early stages of this, so there's not a lot of information that I have and not a lot that I can get out. But I definitely wanted to supply you with the best information that I could at this time. So with that, I just want to ask if there are any questions or any issues you'd like to bring up.
Yeah, how was the officer injured and how are they doing now?
Yeah, the officer, thank you for asking that. The officer, like I said, was transported. It appears that it was based on the physical altercation more than anything else that I know at this time. I don't know if he is still in the hospital or if he's going to get released soon. Hopefully he's going to get released soon. As more information becomes available, I'll definitely supply you with that.
Chief, can you take us back? So you talked about less lethal means from that point forward, again, can you reestablish what the less lethal means were and what the suspect allegedly had done after that point?
Yeah, and again, that's the complexity of this investigation that I don't really want to get too deep in the weeds, but it appears that a taser was used by our officer. It appears that the taser had no impact, and I don't know the sequence of how that happened, but again, after the taser was used, there was still a combative behavior on behalf of our suspect. So that's all I know at this point.
Can you speak on the race or demographic of the person who is deceased?
Yeah, right now, all I know, and again, this is still speculation, so I don't want to give out bad information, but from just what I know, it looks like it's a light-skinned African American.
Have you had calls out here before regarding folks trying to break into cars, take cars?
Yeah, it's interesting because with this location as well as the airport itself, we have been working to combat our burglary theft from motor vehicle as well as our GTA thefts in and around this area. Denver also focuses that in and around the airport. So unfortunately, that is a situation that we deal with and is something that we contend with. And I think that's probably the reason why this PR, our person reporting who actually works in this location, ended up calling, because it just didn't seem right what was going on with our individual, our suspect who was at this event. So yes, it is something we deal with. Anything else?
Did the suspect appear to have any kind of a weapon?
Yeah, at this time I have no information about that. I don't know if there was anything that's left out in the field. That's going to have to come out as the investigation continues to unfold and the officer gives more specific details, and also as our investigators from the CERT team put more of those facts into place. Again, very, very initial.
Does it mean that the individual did not, when you say no more information about whether or not the individual had one, does that mean the individual did not have one? Or?
At this time, I don't know. And I don't want to give out bad information. I want to find out from the investigation. Again, I don't know if he had one or not. I don't know all the sequences of the contacts. I don't know if something was left that a person reporting. There's just too many variables in there that right now at this early stage of the investigation, I just don't want to give out bad information and then have to recant it or change it later on. The investigation's still ongoing, it's still unfolding, and we're going to determine all of those facts.
And was there any damage to the property or any vehicles on the property?
Right now, again, that's what we're still looking at to try to verify. I will tell you that the severity of this event, this gate that you see over here to our shoulder, one of our sergeants actually rammed that so that he was able to get into our officer who was involved in contact with the suspect. So as far as any vehicle theft, any damage to vehicles right now, that's still going to have to come out in the investigation as well.
People are arriving and they need to get their car. What do they need to do?
Yeah, again, that was one of the first things that we wanted to make sure. Again, this is without question a tragedy involved, but we don't want to make it worse for our community as a whole. So we ended up setting up an egress route or an exit route and an entry route over on the far side, and the parking lot is working through that. So again, people can still utilize this. We are holding a fairly large perimeter here for the investigation, but the lot itself is still open.
Was the officer wearing a body camera?
A body-worn camera was worn and it was activated throughout the contact, yes.
Can you tell us anything about the officer's background, how long they've been with the department?
Yeah, right now it appears that the officer is about a 4-year veteran of the Aurora Police Department, and other than that I don't have any more specific details.
This is an airport parking lot, probably a lot of cameras just so people can help find their cameras. Is that going to assist in the investigation?
That is definitely going to be part of the investigation. Again, I think what's really important is not only the event, but how these events are scrutinized. We really want to have transparency. We want to have community faith in what we do and how we do it. We want to make sure that we're factual, and all of that information is what's going to be gathered through the CERT team. And again, a lot of people don't know this, but the CERT team is not made up of Aurora Police Department personnel. It is a combination of different resources that are basically headed through the 17th Judicial District, the DA's office, and then officers and investigators from different departments come together. That way, again, there's a clearer view of what the objectives are, what they want to achieve, and it's not just an Aurora internal investigation, but there's internal and external sources that review that. And that, I think, is a really important part. And that's what we are really looking for as the investigation unfold, is that we get that transparency, we get that factual information, that we can get more details as the days and weeks come. Anything else? Any other questions?
Are you guys planning to release the body-worn camera at all in an effort to keep it that transparent?
Yeah, there's steps we have to do with that. We have to make sure that the family, we don't even know who this individual is right now, so that's part of the investigation as well. Once we identify the individual, there has to be notifications that are going to occur. And then we're going to have to make sure that we meet with that family. We have them, give them the opportunity to see that video, and then we'll release sections of it as that family has once seen it. Anything else? Any other concerns, issues, anything you'd like to talk about? Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for the initial information that will go out. It's like I said, I think it's important that we get this out to the community as a whole so that they do understand. But I also really want to throw that caveat out there that this is really the very, very initial stages of this, and there's going to be much, much more that's going to follow in the weeks and the days and the months to come. So thank you very much.